Hello and welcome back to the episode of the Goblin Ringleader podcast. The Pro Tour review. It's been a while since we've done a Goblin Ringleader podcast. Gotta get Cole back on here, but since getting back from MagicCon, he's been working through the sickness. Everybody gets back from MagicCon, and he's also been swamped with work. So we'll get the Goblin Ringleader podcast, the Jack and Cole podcast, going soon. Maybe I'll make a couple Goblin Delivery Driver podcasts in the meantime. But while we talk about that, let's jump into this. This is Pro Tour Dark Ascension, the finals. Brian Kibler versus Paulo Vito Dama-DeRosa, two Hall of Famers of Magic in their own right. You see both players keeping hands a shake to lead it off. Untap, upkeep, draw, play a land. Tap Rootbound Craig, Basic Mountain from Brian Kibler, playing a Rampant Growth, picking up the deck, and searching. This is definitely a ramp matchup. Whoever's going to get the most lands is going to be the one that wins. So that Rampant Growth might be an indicator of something to come. We're going to double the speed here. Both players play at a good pace, but we got a good hour to watch here. We're going to fly through it. Both players setting up lands in the early game. This is a Pro Tour defined by value. So we have cards like Falconwrath Aristocrat, or maybe no, that's that comes later. That's Dark Ascension. No, that is Dark Ascension, I believe. We have Huntmaster of the Fells. We have all of these super high impact cards, and the issue is, right, the cards have to be good enough to compete with New Phyrexia and M12, which contains the Titans. So it's super, super crazy. Turn off my notifications, don't get vibrations. Solemn here, being legal in this form, is kind of insane. And look how fast Paulo gets to his prime time. Brian Kibler right there with him. A big thing about this format, it was completely dominated by these Titan decks that grab Inkmoth plus Kessig. So now you see that Kessig sneakily hiding in the mana base with 2 mana to activate and then 1 mana to activate this Inkmoth. All of these extra mana can be counted as buffs for the Inkmoth. Going to combat, attacking for 1 in the air with the Inkmoth and the 6 Trampler on the ground with the prime time. Brian thinking about just trading with the Titan, dealing all the damage to the Titan, leaving the Solemn, of course. Brian using that as basically a removal spell. Now, second main, Paulo has enough mana to deploy another Titan and grabs another 2 Inkmoth Nexus. All 4 Inkmoth Nexuses on the field now for Paulo, as and this becomes a war of the Phyrexians. Brian plays Inferno Titan, domes Paulo for 3. Brian just wants to count the lands. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 mana available for Paulo. He can't quite Green Suns for Emrakul, but he could next turn. No, it's a green creature. Saved by the text. Looking at this Thrun, thinking, can this Thrun do anything here? Is it worth playing? Paulo probably considering whether or not his Inkmoths are going to win him this game, and I think he's thinking about, if I trample over this turn, do I have enough to kill him on the following turn? And I think Brian is kind of thinking here that he's lost already. He activates the Inkmoth, chumps in the air, takes a bunch of Infect, goes to his turn, can Fire Breathing up the Inferno Titan, make it 10, but then can only shoot, and just falls barely short of where he needs to be in order to win this game 1. Paulo double checking the math, making sure he thinks he sees this the same way that Brian does. Brian hoping that he doesn't get aggressive with these Inkmoths. Animates 2 Inkmoths and attacks with a bunch of mana and a Kessig up. Brian thinking. Brian possibly said no blocks before damage. The one that was targeted by the Kessig gets Galvanic blasted so that it dies, taking 1 more poison going to 2. But Paulo having 2 more, so 3 total remaining Inkmoth Nexuses. Brian double checking this math. That's 4 plus 6 is 10 plus 4 is 14 lands there available. 14 mana available. What was that? What was that? Inferno Titan attacks after the Slag Storm was cast. Oh, it was Slag Storm. So the Slag Storm was used to deal with the prime time in conjunction with the Inferno Titan attack. But now Paulo's in a very strong position. If Brian doesn't have another Galvanic... Oh, and he's got his own Galvanic. So he's thinking about whether or not he could... He just passes? So he activates, goes to combat, shows him the pump. He says, I can block 2 of it. And he says, well, I have 12, 12 coming through. And he's like, okay, or 10 coming through. So really, really close games there. Xaxis poison damage there from Paulo. We're just going to jump right into game 2. Shout out to Magic the Gathering. If you're not supporting Magic the Gathering, go subscribe to their official YouTube channel, where you can find all this awesome coverage, or you can watch the greats play for free. Better yourself through knowledge. Untap, upkeep, draw. Both players playing 2-mana ramp spells here, playing, if not the same 75, very similar lists to each other. Attacks for Inkmoth, pings. Ramp into a Titan next turn. Paulo looking at removal, hoping he can kill this bird. Definitely can. It looks like he's got Huntmaster, Double Sphere, land. Chooses to kill the bird, play the land, pass. Looks like Brian's got triple Huntmaster in his hand. Plays 1, 2 more to back it up. Paulo also just gonna slam a Huntmaster and pass it over. Brian deciding to get aggressive. He's like, well, I would just like to trade. He's like, well, I'll just play a prime time. I think I'm just gonna get Copperline Gorge and a Kessig. Pass it back. And you see the power of this this prime time being this Primeval Titan. Oh, and a Karn Liberated hardcast here, exiling the Primeval Titan, having 3 loyalty left. But the issue is this Inkmoth plus Kessig can just kill Paulo if he has a land drop. It may not literally kill him, but it's very close. Brian elects to take a safer route here, just dealing damage to the Karn Liberated and having a 6/6 Titan on the field. Goes to Paulo's turn. He just animates an Inkmoth and pokes. Brian gets in the red zone. Thinking about pumping. Bolts you, deals 6 to you. Going to grab prime time. Grab 2 more Inkmoths. No, grab an Inkmoth and a Kessig. And Paulo scoops it up. Really, really good showing here for Brian. Just having triple Huntmaster, being able to deploy the Inferno Titan to pressure the board after Paulo really had to trade off the resources, and then the Inkmoths coming through in the air. So crazy when you can grab all 4 of your Inkmoths every game with one Titan. Copperline Gorge for each player to start. Both players probably holding up Galvanic, staring at each other. Oh, they have Galvanic and Ancient Grudge for each other. So Ancient Grudge really interesting because it can destroy an artifact or an enchantment, and the Ink Moth is an artifact. So really heads up tech here in this standard Pro Tour finals. 2 Pro Tour Hall of Famers. It's absolutely a pleasure to watch these people play. Rampant Growth. You see a Garruk in the hand. Garruk upticks to make a 3/3, -3s to draw cards equal to the greatest power among creatures you control, and then -6 makes a 6/6 for each land you control. Thrun coming down. Paulo just trying to ramp. Gonna hope to outrace because there's not really a good way for the red-green deck to kill this Thrun. You really just got to try to overpower it. And it looks like the hand for Paulo is a land, another sphere, and a Green Sun Zenith. Not quite what you want. A Rampant Growth. Basic Mountain, the choice. Going to Grudge the Sphere. Just slow Paulo down a little bit. If he doesn't have a land drop, he can't go Titan. And even with a land drop, he doesn't have enough mana to Green Suns for a Titan now. So he kind of has to just pass it back. Pretend like he has something. No, he decides to go land, grab an Acidic Slime, kill a land, try to do the same thing that you just did to me. The issue being that this Acidic Slime can't trade with this Thrun. It can regenerate itself. It's too strong. It's the Breaker of Silence. The last troll. So Garruk here going to be very, very powerful, being able to just make a 3/3 every turn, just go super, super wide. One of my favorite Planeswalkers of all time. Garruk, being able to just make a dude. However, electing to just draw 4 cards here. 4 cards being so many. Going right back up to 7. A Beast Within, a Birds, a Titan, and a Green Suns in hand now. This game candidly favoring Brian Kibler. Candidly. Just heavily favoring Brian Kibler. And just animating 3 Ink Moths, attacking for 3 in the air, putting Brian to 5 poison. On a 2-turn clock in the air now with these Ink Moths. Brian pushing damage. Playing a bird as a blocker, leaving up a Beast Within. Flashback an Ancient Grudge to kill one of them. Beast Within the other one. Make a 3/3. Brian still takes 2 poison, going to 7 poison. Hardcast Primetime. Get 2 Ink Moths of his own. Paulo without a board here. Really trying to just win through these Ink Moths, but Brian with just enough interaction for these artifacts. Attack for 2 in the air, chump block 1, naturalize another. Untap, upkeep, draw. Sphere, Green Sun, Kessig. Thinking about whether or not this Kessig wins in the game. Attack trigger. Get Ink Moth, Ink Moth. Now all 4 Ink Moths in play for Brian Kibler. Doing some math, thinking about this. This is 10 coming through. He can definitely pump it for 6. Question is, if he does that, does he lose to Ink Moth? I believe if he puts the buff on the Thrun, the Beast Within on the Titan, Green Suns for a bird as a chump blocker, and that's the game. Really close stuff there. Being able to just fog the attacking Ink Moth for another turn. Paulo looking at his top card, probably knowing that he doesn't draw a Keswick, he just loses the game. And the Thrun just being there as a lethal attacker, single-handedly pushing through lethal damage. Amazing stuff here. Really cool decks here. Really cool decks here. You see a cool game they used to play where you would choose some cards that you wanted to see do well in the format, and then depending on how many copies made it to the top 8, you get a certain amount of points. Old Pro Tour coverage was so cool. Shout out to all these people. Rich Hagan, Brian David Marshall, Luis Scott Vargas, all the legends back then. Rich Hagan especially. I love his commentary. So same thing as earlier, just kind of rampant in the early games. Not much going on. Turns 1, 2, 3. Turns 4, though, you start casting 6 and 7 mana spells, and it's such a perfect example of what ramp could be, right? If you go like turn 1, nothing, turn 2 ramp spell, turn 3 ramp spell, turn 4 6 drop, Titans are good. And I love watching this old standard content because they did such a good job recording all this, like keeping the content. I know they tried to do away with coverage for a while during the pandemic because probably it was a lot for overhead, but it's really important to like have this so that the community can watch the great players of the past play, like Brian Killer on the left. He's got gray hair now. He's got really long hair and it's gray. And I met him at MagicCon. He's a super cool guy. But like, this is him playing in Pro Tour Dark Ascension. This was like the Pro Tour before I started playing, or 2 Pro Tours before I started playing. Like legend status. Chumps the Primeval Titan. Attack trigger first. Gets the combo. Shows that he has another Titan. And Brian Kibler picks it up. Just 2-2 here, tied up between 2 legends, equally matched. Yeah, so you see how Paulo does a rocking motion in a C. That's how I like to pile shuffle. You can also pile shuffle in the circle, like Brian Gilbert did, but it's just more rhythmic to sideboard back and forth. Paulo bringing in the naturalized now, just shuffling it in, not even cutting. So both players able to pile shuffle extremely fast. I know this is 2 times speed, but still, the fact they were able to take 2 decent pile shuffles in a row. Is this 3? This is the mulligan. Okay, but yeah, these are people who've shuffled hundreds of thousands, if not millions of times. So they have the fundamentals of randomization down. I mean, this is nothing until turn 4. Passing it over. Inkmoth into rampant growth. Basic pass. Nothing until turn 4 is a death sentence for Paulo here. But if he draws a rampant growth, he's in business. Plays an Inkmoth and passes. Brian's got to be feeling like it's his lucky day somehow. He's like, I don't understand. He probably has a bunch of removal. In his head, he probably assumes that he has infinite removal. And so he just decides, okay, so we have to go as fast as possible, make sure that we apply steady pressure over time. Paulo finally getting to play his land, his 4th land, playing his Solemn. Now, I feel like Brian's just so far ahead now. Even if Paulo plays at prime time, Brian's got all 4 of his Inkmoths in play, or 3 of them, I should say. Trades Solemn for Solemn, card for card, takes 7, goes to 11, pumps the other one with his Kessig, probably putting Paulo to like 6. Oh, he pumps the Inkmoth, putting Paulo to like 4, in fact, if I had to guess. And Paulo not able to not able to ramp fast enough. Oh, that's a really tough. That's really close. Congrats to Brian Kibler for that awesome win. Paulo really hoping to draw a rampant growth off the top there, but not being able to find it. Oh, death sentence. But yeah, this has been a shorter episode of Pro Tour Review. I'm gonna be back on streaming later, Arena, and I appreciate you watching. And that's where I'm gonna splice it. Oh, my camera's frozen. That's where I'm going to splice it, and then we're going to go right back into the standard grind. Boom. I hope I didn't scare anybody. Traditional standard grind, back with standard goblins. Let's see how we can do. We're going to play 5. Let's play 7 matches. 7 matches of standard and a couple matches of brawl. Playing at an RCQ tomorrow. Might do standard tonight. We'll see how it goes. Sounds great. Okay, this is the combo deck. This is the Capricious Hellraiser. Boros Convoke? Okay, it went from Hellraiser to Boros Convoke. Combat. Torch it. That's fine. Because I have the Sear Slicer and it replaces the body immediately. Do you have another torch? Oh no, it's Oculus. Okay. Maybe we can race. Maybe. Unless that's an Oculus, then we're kind of F. Play the Howl Squad. Combat. This guy has to attack, so suicide into an Oculus. Goblins are really good at self-destructive behavior. Get the goblin back. Okay. That's 8 in the air. It's not a drop kick, which is pretty bad for us. We can go Lord, Scamp. No, I'll keep it. Another eyeball. That's 2 blockers, or 3 blockers if they attack, 4 blockers if they don't. That's 5 blockers if they don't, 4 blockers if they do. Okay, 4 blockers. I don't know. We need a dropkick bomber. And a land. It's not good. Maybe. We're not at max speed though. So we have 5 mana. The Howl Squad just gets more. The Howl Squad's the same as the Squee if we're attacking right away. The Face Gallery. We'll attack with everything. It gets big. You block the 2 4s for sure. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Mm-hmm. Scamp stays alive somehow. Good game. Yeah, if that Scamp died, oh, that would have been so good. Okay. That was really close. Game 1. Game 2. Yeah, game 1 against Oculus, we almost never win. Now, game 2, we get to do this. Probably have lockdowns if we want. Guess we can trim on Squeeze. Oh, but Squeeze good against lockdown. That was dumb. Oh, learning here with Goblin Ringleader. Oh, I make mistakes, so you don't have to. If you appreciate that, hit that like button. Because I appreciate you. Okay, this is a bad idea against them to just kill that Oculus because they can just bring it back again. But this hand looks good, so I'm just gonna keep it because I can go Howl Squad into Krenko, and I think that's how we win. Oh, excuse me. What if I told you I had another Lord? Would you believe me? Do you remember da 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 the words of this song? Yeah, because I don't. Maybe. Steam Core Scholar. That sounds like my Krenko is going to do Krenko things. Shrug. I don't know. I kind of think this sounds like awesome. Yeah. Okay. 13. Day of Judgment. They need a board wipe. They need it bad. Okay. Torch. Okay. Why not? You can do it. Play this thing. It does dumb things. I'll tap this thing. Yep. GG's. So the paw patch was just a safety mechanism. Yeah, let's run it back. That felt pretty good. And that was without the ley lines. So now, fingers crossed, they may not even understand what's going to happen to them. This hand's great. Boom, boom, ba-da-ba-bum. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-bum. They probably have a Get Lost. Prof's Idyllic Memory. That's the backup game plan. This is the Jim Davis list they're playing, which is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. All right, play the Howl Squad. Make an attacker go to combat and attack. Steamcorn Scholar, that's fine. Oculus does seem kind of bad here. I can concur. No blocks. I'm on a 3-turn clock. Krenko. Sack the profs. Sack the profs to torch the tower. Mm-hmm. Oh, sacking the FOMO. Okay. That's fine. Make a guy. This guy's got to attack. But we'll get in. Second speed. Might be able to hit max speed and do some crazy things. The issue is now they have 8 power in the air. Pyroclasm's good. Goblin, play a Howl Squad. Play a Lord. Draw 2. Okay, there's 1 Lord. Another Steam Core Scholar. It's the battle of the 3 drops. Steam Core Scholar putting in the work here. Not having a dropkick bomber is really bad for us. And the vigilance on this thing is insane. Another Pyroclasm. The last card was a Howl Squad. Well, it's not going to do us too much good now. So these 3 have to attack. Draw 3. And we are very dead. 1, 2, 3. Good game, opponent. Well played. Yeah, I mean, the Steam Core Scholar Prof's backup game plan was very strong here. Yeah, being able to loot away all the dead cards definitely was amazing. Meanwhile, I had a dead card in my hand, so that's a tick against Leyline. But don't ever take Leylines out of your deck because I love it. It gives me more free wins than any other card, I swear. All right, let's run it back. The grind shall continue. Mertier. Oh, both these hands are horrible. I mean, this is a 6-land 5. This is a 6-card 5 because this is 2 cards. Mice, eh? We're definitely not the aggressor. We don't have any gas. Hell, we're going to be taking next turn off. Yeah, this mouse deck is just really good. So there's a bunch of air. Okay. Maybe. The opponent, Innkeeper's Talent, Prowess Trigger, Valiant Trigger. It's going to be pretty good. Oh, Sentinel of the Nameless City. This game is over. Play the land. Play the Painter Studio. Draw 2 more cards. What is Bastronaut? Bastronaut's a 1 mana, 1/1 with Menace. Start your engines. Pay 2, gets +1/+0. Max speed, double strike. It's a 1-drop with a billion abilities. It's nice. Start the engines. Feel very dead inside. Opponent looks at, yeah, I was going to say Manifold Mouse. And, oh, they don't have land, though. Double strike? Yeah. We're definitely chumping that. Thankfully, that Monstrous Rage is going away. 5 mana. We get to go Howl Squad Heavy, Lord. Attack with a 3/2. No chump block. Passes. Valiant Trigger target. Paw Patch. Double strike. Monstrous Rage me. Yep. That makes sense. And kill my blocker. 20 damage. It's pretty good. Pretty good. All right. I will say that was our mold of 5, and we get to bring in 6 cards. Cutting the Painter Studios because they're just not creatures that block. And 2 Krenkos. Krenko's okay in this matchup only if we're able to get it down. Sometimes you can't get it down and you just die. As exhibited there. Exhibited. I kind of sometimes wish that my Screaming Nemesises were like Lithomantic Barrages or like Torches. The issue with like playing Torch is it doesn't work off your Lord death triggers. We want to make everything as we possibly can a Goblin. And the Painter Studio is like the 4 slots that I think could be non-Goblin spells. No way, because our mulligan game 1 was because we saw a no-lander and a 1-lander. Though that was the other side of the variance. Here, I think we just bottom. Probably the land. You can cast all these spells early, and that's the best. These are the best spells to cast early. If the worst thing that could happen to us is we draw nothing but lands, and we can plan for that by bottoming a land. Best case scenario, we just draw all spells, and we have like a 61% chance that it'll be a 1 or a 2. So it's like minimum 61% chance it'll be a 1 or a 2. If it's a spell, right? If it's a land, we have our 3rd land. So that's how you can kind of hedge your bets in Magic. You plan for the worst thing to happen to you and make it so that even if the worst thing that happens to you happens, it's still a positive. Does that make any sense? I could be crazy. Combat Smack, Firebrand, Scamp. Pyroclasm. If they're just doing their normal business and attacking as usual, I think that I can just play this Lord and race. They're a Mertier. Fascinating. Someone's Wi-Fi isn't working. It's either mine or theirs. Just pass through their turn. Okay. Well, I'll play. They just concede. Okay. Well, we're tied up. A game apiece. Let's run it back. All right, Dad came in with groceries, so after this match, we're bringing him in. Then we'll be right back. Sorry. Dad came home with groceries, so we're gonna bring in the groceries after this one. Even if I blocked the Ember Heart, they could have monstrous raged on the higher claw and still won. So there's if they have a monstrous rage, I lose that way. Either block. I'll be right back. And we're back. Okay. We brought in the groceries. Play a couple more games. Play some Brawl. Then we go to draft tonight. It's gonna be a good day. Playing first. Hell yeah. This hand looks good. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Depending on what they do. Getting this deface gallery might be super important. Just commit as many bodies to the board against domain as possible. Try to kill them as fast as possible. And never sack your scamp unless you absolutely have to. Beans. Glad they banned it in other formats. Like, it's just really good sometimes. Get lost, Squee. And then we just slam another Squee. What maximizes damage here? 3. If we just play another Painter Studio, deface gallery, and we say this top card is going to be a non-land. Now this will be 4 that we can double to fling. I like it a lot. This is why you keep your scamp until the last possible moment. We were able to get, what was that, 2, and then so that's 6 total extra damage out of it by not sacking it willy-nilly. Against domain, we want Screaming Nemesis and Paw Patch, cutting the Painter Studios, and the Krinkos. After sideboarding, we know they're going to bring in temporary lockdown, so the Painter Studio gets a little bit worse. I mean, this looks good. A little bit slower, but Basher knotted up. So same thing, except their turn 4 is going to be a little bit sooner. All right, temporary lockdown. I'm expecting it. Now, I really want a Lord here. Pest control is so good. That's better than temporary lockdown right here. Cavern on Goblin. Play the Screaming Nemesis. This will trade for the Get Lost that's probably in their hand. But I think that's fine. We're just in such a bad spot. We need to be aggressive. If they play a Besa, they can't block. Or they could, it just wouldn't be very beneficial. Split up is really good. Another land is not what we wanted to see, but we got this drop kick. And we can win a game with a 2-3. Maybe not against domain, but we can win games with 2-3s. Opponent just draws, passes, slam the Squee. Binding the drop kick in response. This probably shows that there's a Zur. They're okay with taking the 3 because they're going to gain 6 back. Max speed. Sunfall, then Zur. Yep. Zur, if they are just like super confident that I can't beat their 6/6 lifelinker, which to be fair, with 2 lands in my hand, I definitely cannot beat. I mean, I can push 2, put them to 16. They'll go to 22 on attack if they do nothing else. So yeah, they cast an Overlord. As an amazing blocker, and then go on the offensive at the same time. We draw another land. No attacks. We'll draw. We cut the Krinkos. Interesting. Board plan definitely not working the best for us here. Although if we were able to deal them some damage, they wouldn't have gained a bunch of life. Pest control and split up seem to be the sideboard cards here. Which, to be fair, are very good sideboard cards. Even my best draw here does not deal them enough damage, so we'll just go to the next game. I'm going to play up with the Painter Studios back in, take out the Krinkos, and trim a Lord. I don't think I actually want the Paw Patches, so we'll keep the Lord and a Krinko. Oops, that's 62. We'll see what happens. Lands and spells, lands and spells. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know how, but this hand is perfect. Maybe I shouldn't say perfect, but it feels pretty damn good. I got my draw 2, I got my Lord, I got my token creator, and I got my 1-drop on 1. If you were to ask me what I would want from a hand, it would be 3 lands and those things. Now let's see if our perfect hand can beat Domain. Because it might not. It's between the Seer Slicer and the Defaced Gallery there. But if I play the Seer Slicer first, I can go Defaced Gallery into Firebrand and push the most damage the next turn. They don't have a black source, so they can't go Pest Control yet. Okay. Temporary lockdown, eh? I feel like there's a temporary lockdown coming. This plays around temporary lockdown and split up. So let's do that. Now, if they go land, temporary lockdown, or land, split up, or land, pest control, all those things are okay with me. Because I can go Howl Squad heavy right afterwards. Beanstalk's cool. We're chilling. Big chilling. Play this mountain. They have 1 mana, so they have an Elspeth Smite for sure. Can we win? So if we go Firebrand's another 2. So this is 2, 4, 6, 8, plus an additional 4. It's not lethal. Let's play around those 2 things again then. Let's go crack this on the Bastronaut. Krenko's beautiful. Keeping Krenko on top all day. Playing Howl Squad heavy. 1 to combat. I'm not going to lose to this split up. Day of Judgment. Yep. But I have a Krenko. Now I can go to Faced Gallery. Oh, that shock would have been the difference here, I guess. That's fascinating. Creature. That's the one. Hardcast Overlord. Mm-hmm. Make 2 bodies. We have a Howl Squad. These trade. Now their split up is going to do something this turn because they can split up my Howl Squad. Another beans. Okay, this is good for us. I mean, if they have nothing, we'll just play this Krenko. Tap this for mana. Play a Scamp with haste. Binding the Krenko. Take away the token's abilities to make haste. That's fine. Oh, no, because now the Krenko doesn't have haste. Oh my god, that's such a punt. I would have had... Wait. In response to the Leyline Binding, I would have made 2 tokens. So I would have had 2 extra bodies here. Oh, and now they can Sunfall. Okay, if they have Sunfall, there's no reason to be frustrated because they would have had it anyways. Doesn't matter how many extra tokens I make. They didn't have haste, so it wouldn't have gotten damage in anyways. Okay. 1 drop with haste. There it is. You beautiful bitch. Trade with your Sunfall token. It's crazy that the Sunfall can literally wipe your board and then kill you. Like the board wipe kills you. There's the Elspeth Smite we knew around, we were playing around. Interesting. Why do I suddenly feel so dead? It's because I am dead. Yeah, this deck is very good. Draw 2 cards. Wow, look at these beautiful cards. Meanwhile, back in reality, I'm going to wait for them to animate their other Leyline Binding. I'm not going to say good game until they literally kill me with combat damage because I don't want to spam them. I am very, very dead. Good game. Well, wait, I'm not dead? So let's play this. Draw another 2 cards, because drawing cards is great, right? Play my land for turn. Goblin. Play a Seer Slicer. Play a firebrand. Yes. Good game. Well played. Okay. We're going to get a win, I swear. We're going to run it back. We've played against some really nice pilots who know their stuff pretty well. Oh. Maybe I should change the sideboards. We're winning game 1 and losing game 2 and 3. That sounds like a sideboard issue to me. I'm not really seeing blue-black bounces often. What are the other things? Not the Codex of the Multiverse. Ugh. Back to this sideboard. Pyroclasm hasn't felt great recently. If it was just Torch, that would be kind of better. And the Festivities is not in standard anymore, I'm pretty sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what we need against them is just Torch. 1, 2, 3. Paw Patch is meh. Torch has been decent. Screaming Nemesis is going to be our only hope against Domain. Bailout is for bounce. Leyline is good. 3 Torch. What are the other cards that we like to play? We like to play Twisted Fealty. 1 Twisted Fealty. And just play the full 4 Torch. We could play Torch and Burst Lightning. But that's kind of meh. I did see a list that was winning with Burst Lightning. It makes the mice matchup really good, so let's try that. 4 Burst Lightning, 3 Torch on the side. We can just take out the 1-drops and just bring in all removal. The more I say it out loud, the more I kind of like it. Hi, Ron. Turn 1 Bastronaut. Turn 2 Firebrand. Kasmaka. This looks like Domain. Play a Lord. A Lordy. Lord. Combat attack. Blue by control, eh? Kind of like control, honestly. Weird. This is no longer control, it's weird. Oh, it's artifacts. Another saw blade trap, eh? If they have the trap, this is the only way for me to push damage. I attack with just the 3/3, then I... Let's see, but this way, still get 2 through. And I've made them use a removal spell. Oof. Play another Lord. Smacking him for 2. 4 mana to craft. But they can do it. Hedron Archive, okay. Braided Net. Another land. I'm going to cut a damn land. Out of frustration. That's fine. I'll attack for 1. I won't get frustrated and sacrifice it because then the net can tap down my only attacker every turn and I push no damage. Goblin. Combat. Okay. Same thing. Make it a creature. Do it. 3 steps ahead. Makes a copy of Spring-Loaded Saw Blades, giving me a death trigger 3-drop. I'll take a 1-drop. It used my cavern on that? No damn way. Well, because I didn't control my cavern, I'm not going to cast this into open blue mana. They hit it. I'm glad I didn't. Day of Judgment, pretty good. Pretty good. Oh my god. They can activate this. Draw 8. Feldon's Cane. Exile this artifact. Shuffle your graveyard into your library. Okay. But it exiles itself. That's huge. Huge to know. Krenko. I don't believe this Krenko is going to stick around for long. Oh, that's the other card that everyone was telling me to play. It's Brotherhood End. Brotherhood End is really good right now. Okay. Pushing the damage. Pushing the damage. Copy Perilous Vault. Yeah, I mean, that's just pretty damn good. I gotta say, that's pretty damn good. This feels very strong. I will concede at 20 because I know that I can't win from this spot. I think we just run it back and say we can push more damage than that. That was not a good showing. We got this. I believe in us. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. Alrighty then. We're jumping back and forth. Trying our best to play the goblins in a la Standard. We're going to be doing another stream tonight, a little bit later, probably around 10:30. Jamming some more Standard and then a little bit Brawl. I won't be able to do Brawl in this stream because I have to drive to the Boar's Hat at 7. So after this match, what time is it? 37. I should probably concede this match to my opponent out of respect. I can't play another 20-minute game. I should try. If I don't win this game in like 5 seconds. Mulligan. Better. We want to top deck a land. Not a land. No. We play fast. We go click, click, click. Land off the top would be amazing. They played Day of Judgment, which is gonna be tough for us. One Lord, or one mana, please. Perilous Snare on the Seer Slicer. They can Day of Judgment next turn. No attacks. I mean, decline. Day. Yep. Land. That's what we want. Push for 3. Tapped creature. It does apply. Okay. Howl Squad. Crashing in. Board wipe. This is the deck where Sunfall is going to be dangerously effective. Mm-hmm. Good Day of Judgment. Play the Howl Squad. If they go one more board wipe, one more life gain spell, I will concede. Because I got to go draft. I go play some Aether Drift. Drafted. Perilous Snare. Good game. I will concede because I have to go. But I really appreciate y'all watching. Thank you so much for being here. This has been the Standard Grind. We're going to be back on at 10:30 tonight for another series of the Standard Grind with some more Brawl afterwards. But for now, I'm going to go draft at my locals, and I hope you have a beautiful day.